Well, good afternoon, everybody, and it's good to see all of you here today, especially those of you who are employed by the Manhattan Borough President to come here on your lunch hour. Thank you very much. But more importantly, we are here to announce that the Borough President's Office has partnered with the Turkish Cultural Center of New York to donate 1,000 pounds of meat to City Harvest in honor of Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha. Sean, I got it, right? And this holiday commemorates Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son for God, and they celebrate it by sacrificing animals and donating meat to the needy. The Turkish Cultural Center is making this donation on behalf of the 800,000 Muslims in New York. And this season, too many New Yorkers have known what it's like to have to sacrifice. They have to choose between which bills not to pay, which really ignores the belief or the hope that they can go out and get some food to put on their family's dinner plate. In New York City, 1.4 million residents are classified as food insecure. They cannot afford enough food, including over 400,000 children. And 1 in 5 New Yorkers now live in poverty, the highest level since 2000. At the same time, over half the food pantries and soup kitchens in our city cannot meet demand. And this meat will go a long way to helping City Harvest feed the more than 300,000 hungry New Yorkers who depend on it each week. Christians and Jews also commemorate the act of sacrifice and faith committed by Abraham. This donation reminds us what makes our city so special. Regardless of religion or background, when someone is in need, we are all New Yorkers first. This is a very significant collaboration between the Turkish Cultural Center, who have been friends of mine from the first day I was elected borough president. They have not only accomplished this wonderful act of generosity in Manhattan, but I've also been in Brooklyn with Borough President Markowitz, and I'm so glad that you now come to the Borough of Manhattan to do this act of generosity. And as far as City Harvest is concerned, I honestly don't know what New York would do without them. They play a major, major role in feeding people every day. They are an anchor for all that we need to do as far as providing needed social services for people. So I want to commend the 1,000 pounds. Now, this is not all it, right? You got a couple other boxes?
Yeah, the rest of it, yeah.
But why don't we have my good friend, the Vice President of the Turkish Cultural Center, Mehmet Kilik, who has been a great friend for a long time. Why don't you go up and say a few words? Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with you, and I would like to thank Borough President Scott Stringer for allowing us to have this meat drive. It wouldn't be possible without his leadership. The Turkish Cultural Center New York is a non-profit, non-government civic initiative, so we are the Turkish Americans to build a better relation with the rest of the community. Today's meat drive is dedicated to Feast of Sacrifice, as Borough President mentioned. It is also known as Eid al-Adha or Kurban in the Muslim world. The Feast of Sacrifice commemorates Prophet Abraham's submission to God as he was tested to sacrifice his beloved son. Abraham is considered, as you may know, the father of the 3 Abrahamic religions. And the story of Abraham is very similar in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. As the Turkish American community, we wanted to share this tradition with our neighbors in Manhattan. This is a way of giving thanks to the community. This meat drive is also a response from the Turkish American community to Governor Cuomo's Help Your Neighbor initiative to encourage charitable organizations to help people in need throughout the holiday season. We're going through a difficult time as a nation, and it is our civic responsibility to help our neighbors. Manhattan Borough President Scott Stringer is also one of the advocates to fight against hunger with local agencies in New York City. He talked about the importance of strengthening local efforts to fight hunger at the food bank's annual conferences, lectures, and many other occasions. He has become an inspiration for the Turkish Americans to have today's meat drive in his leadership. I would like to share just some statistics with you. 1 out of 5 children in New York City relies on emergency food programs to eat. 27% of the New York City children live in poverty. and 47% of New York City households with children have difficulty affording needed food. Right now, 3.3 million New Yorkers are having difficulty affording food, which represents 2 in every 5 residents. Looking forward, 2012 seems to be a difficult, harder time for the New Yorkers. So we cannot be unaware of the situation in our neighborhoods. It's a responsibility to help, share, and care for those who are in need during these difficult times. As the Turkish American community, we would like to encourage other communities to join these efforts to fight against hunger. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
For your leadership and support in organizing today's drive.
Thank you very much. Let's give you a big round of applause. Next up is Lisa Spasato, who is representing City Harvest. Let's give Lisa a round.
You know, my job at City Harvest is to source new donation of food. And working at City Harvest is the most humbling and yet rewarding job I've ever had. When I get a phone call to say, hey, we have 1,000 pounds of meat we'd like to donate to you, that just makes my job that much easier and much more fulfilling. We are in our busiest season right now of collecting canned food. Items like this high protein, will go so far to help so many New Yorkers. You've heard the statistics, 300,000 people we feed each week. 1 in 5 New Yorkers, 1 in 4 children in New York don't know where their next meal is coming from. Those are really hard numbers to hear. You know, we think about this room, how many of us are right here? Maybe 35, 40 people. So 2 of you might not know where your next meal is coming from in a bigger society. So it's really heartening to have such wonderful partners like Manhattan Borough President Scott Stringer and the Turkish Cultural Center of New York, that your outstanding work will help us to go so much further with our donations. Thank you.
It's very nice to see you. Thank you. And from the Universal Foundation, Newman Ozdemir, who would like to come up and join us. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon. My name is Numan Özdemir, the manager of Universal Foundation, which serves the Turkish American community with their religious needs in New York City. It's also our goal to build a stronger society living in peace and harmony. Prophet Abraham is considered the father of the 3 Abraham religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It's our common denomination to building stronger relation. In Abraham's story, it's God sent his angel Gabriel and provided Abraham a ram in place of his beloved son. Since then, it has been celebrated by Muslims to commemorate this day as they sacrifice animals such as cow, sheep, and goat and donate the meat to the community. Muslims are obligated to distribute 2/3 of meat to the people in need. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, one of his hadith, a perfect Muslim is not a perfect Muslim who eats till he is full and leaves his neighbors hungry. As human beings, we should remember those who don't have food to eat. We are glad that we can help the New Yorkers with the meat drive today. Thank you.
Any questions from the press?
Do you have a more specific number about how many people this will feed?
You mean the 1,000 pounds of meat?
Yeah, the 1,000 pounds.
It's a good question. Could you figure out,
It's
calculate
difficult.
for us?
It's difficult to put a number per person per pound. You know, there are statistics that say 1 can of food will help feed 1 person. That's kind of a very, very general number, because when you think about a can of tuna, it's not very big, versus a large can from Costco. So what we like to think is we have over 600 partners, agencies that we work with. And right now I have my whole agency group back in the office working on how we're going to distribute these 1,000 pounds evenly to make sure that as many shelters as possible can benefit from this donation.
And also, I just want to point out that the 1.4 million residents who are classified as food insecure is a very telling statistic that we really have to come to grips with. These are people who cannot afford enough food, and so they become part of this very dangerous relationship between living in the city, paying rent, working a job, but at the same time just not making it. These are the folks who have always played by the rules. They pay their taxes, they contribute to the city, they're doing everything that they can, and yet they're not able to make it here. This is the middle income folks who are the backbone of the city. So we're not just talking about people who are in deep poverty or who have real struggle, people maybe living in homeless facilities. We're talking about a whole new category of people food insecure, who are actually folks that on the face of it, you would think they're doing very well as New Yorkers, and they're struggling. And I think part of what we have to recognize is that if we don't have valuable donations like we're getting today, if we don't have a city harvest, then a lot of people are going to fall through the cracks. And I would also urge, as we look at budgets in the city going forward and this very difficult economy, part of what we have to make sure is that nobody in the city should be insecure about every day worrying whether they could put food on the table.
And also, I would like to just make one remark. This 1,000 pounds of meat is packaged with 2 pounds of packages. So it could be either cooked in soup kitchens or it could be donated to the people so that they could cook in their house. So basically there are 500 packages of 2 pounds of beef cutlets.
Okay. Well, once again, let me thank City Harvest, the Turkish Cultural Center, Universal Foundation. These are groups that make a real difference in our city. I'm glad we were able to make the exchange in our office. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you so much.